have all of the cast and characters here. We have Joe Kimson from Flagger's Paintball in the top left square.
Oh, hi, how are you? Thanks for tuning in tonight. I didn't know if you're going to introduce everybody or just me, but I guess you're just introducing me. Then I, in turn, will introduce somebody else and so on and so on. Guys, and girls, thanks for tuning in tonight to Behind the Bunker Saturday night. There's not a whole lot of paintball happening globally, but we are still happening. So we want to thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to turn it over to my friend Gavin Sharma from TerraTech Industries.
It's Gavin Sharma from TerraTech Industries, and I am your quarantine dream, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. And make sure you hit like and share because we have a special guest. It's a special program. It is Saturday night, the Quarantine Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like and share, folks. Like and share.
Saturday. Oh. No.
And also, I'd like to introduce Matt the Crypt.
Hello. I don't have a good rehearsed intro like our friend Garvin, but welcome. Thank you for watching.
And also on tonight's show is Ryan Sexton of the Brigade and of GI Sports. He's joining us all the way from still sunny Oregon.
Nice.
Yeah, how's it going, everybody? Glad to be on the show.
Brigade! And we are expecting Josh Zuby Zabrikis to join us shortly. He is deep in the midst of child rearing bedtime, so he will drop in as soon as his children are settled. Like many of us that have children during this time, everyone's routines are not even tipped over. They're properly upside down. They're capsized in high seas with giant white caps and sharks swimming about.
And if you don't,
go ahead. Kids have been out of school for 2-3 weeks now. Their fool little heads are spinning around sideways and they're going to pop off. So everyone's doing the best to keep everybody on track and organized. I know in Canada we've been locked down for just over 2 weeks now. And several states in the U.S. and our European friends are locked down as well. So hopefully everyone's enduring it. And I will turn it over to my friend Gavin.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you don't have children, please be careful because in 40 weeks you may, if you are, if you're just looking for forms of entertainment, please be careful when you're entertaining.
I don't think there's any shortages of that PPE equipment yet, guys. So, stock up.
Stock up, yeah. And if you have one child now, you are seriously going to think twice about a second one, most definitely.
This is the ultimate form of birth control currently.
It is 7 day a week, 24-hour day. And Josh Zuby Zabrikis has tuned in from his freshly drywalled room.
Not that fresh. I actually just turned my computer desk around. It's worse than it was before, so I didn't.
You turned it to the good wall.
Yeah, I did actually. It's actually my wall with my spare monitor on for work. So.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. Todd's feverishly getting things.
Well, we're trying to watch you guys. We have YouTube. We're broadcasting on YouTube as well tonight. So if you guys are broadcast or watching us there, you can. We'll try to keep an eye on your comments as well.
I don't have any. Are we broadcasting in Facebook as well? Because I don't have any comments. How do you watch that? Is that what you're doing, Gavin, while you're looking down, or because Pornhub is free, you're able to watch it while you're doing this? Are you wearing pants?
We don't need to know that. Okay. No, I am just sharing it right now for my phone because my computer monitor is all occupied with your ugly faces. So.
It's actually my wall with my broadcast or what?
Somebody did something. Oh, Ryan did
Sorry.
something. Ryan's with
Ryan,
GI.
that's strike one.
Yeah, Ryan's with GI and the Brigade. Ryan, what's coming down the pipe from GI during this time? And 2020 had what
Someone's had
fantastic promises.
That was me, sir.
Fantastic promises to be a great year. You introduced some new fantastic guns, the Storm.
We were doing really well. Year over year before all this hit, we were actually up pretty good. Not just gaining market share, but a significant amount of our customers were doing better this year than they were last year. And then this wonderful forced vacation happened on everybody and definitely brought everything to a screeching halt pretty much. So been a little bit different than we had planned.
Had you guys fully ramped up production in paint after Christmas, or you're still sort of ramping up for the spring? Do you know?
No, there's a significant supply. We still have the cave, we call it, in Missouri. So we weren't really running that as a fully functional warehouse, but we still have it. And so all these trucks, especially over the last month, 2 months, while everything was slowing down, we kept production up. So all these trucks, we've been warehousing all this paint that hasn't been being used, obviously, because not very many people are playing paintball right now. And so it's sitting there, and they actually have scaled down production at the plant because we're at a level inventory-wise to where it's not going to take us very much time to turn the switch, fire the machines back up. If everything all of a sudden is cured and solved and everybody's playing paintball again, we're well prepared.
Is there anywhere in the world besides Liechtenstein that people are still playing paintball?
I know South Carolina, Black Ops Paintball got permission.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, they got permission from the state to stay open. I believe there's also a field or two in Virginia. There are still some fields around that are operating. I know there's some fields around that are operating kind of against state regulations, but
I get a couple of texts a week where people are asking me if they can still play, if they can come with just a few buddies and just lock them in and do a quiet play. And first of all, our we can't legally, and second of all, our buildings and everything's not ready to go, and I'm not willing to do that. I'm not going to go subject myself to 5 to 10 other strangers who potentially could be infected or not, and have that and bring that back to my family. So it's not worth it. I mean, I'm either going to run my business and be able to run and operate it, but I'm not going to do like a yard sale every couple of days for 5 kids. And
no, I mean, even in the province of Ontario, you face a $100,000 fine for any gatherings over 5 people, right? So that's an individual and a business as well. I mean, it's not worth the risk. And again, the more that we all comply with the sanctions and the protocols, the quicker we can get back to normal, right? So it's these outliers who want to do their own thing because they have the right to gather and all that wonderful stuff, right? They're not, they don't see the bigger picture that the sooner that we all get together and have a little bit of a sacrifice, the quicker that things to return to normal. We can talk about, wow, that was really crappy those couple of weeks that we were on lockdown, right?
Yeah. So parks and trails and everything are closed around here. And if you go on a park and a trail and you're within 6 feet of somebody, you can get $1,000 fine. It hasn't turned into.
I've been issuing fines to people and asking for cash on the spot.
So I was also
rather lucrative.
I was chatting with my sister who lives in Australia, and it is even tighter sanctions that they have there. That again, I think we're getting there. No more than 2 people could be with. If you live in the same residence, you can be with another person, at least one other person out in the community. So you don't have to do that social distancing from one other person. But anything beyond that is banned. And if you're out, you have to have a specific purpose, whether that's going to the grocery store or pharmacy. There's no recreation at all. So like they live on Manly Beach, like on the beach itself, and you can't even sunbathe. You can't even be in the ocean. Ocean is considered a recreational activity. You actually have to be moving. You can't just wade in the ocean, or else you could be fined. Like just saying, some of the waves are strong enough that can move your body around, so you won't be fined. But you literally can't just wade or go for a walk.
They just don't want people gathering like they were in Florida last week for March break.
Yeah.
Mayhem.
Yeah, and he had that crazy dictator, was he Central America, South America, the guy who authorized people to shoot drug dealers. He extended that now to people breaking quarantine. Yeah. I saw
that's in the Philippines.
Philippines. Yep. It was like, whoo. I mean, I saw the videos out of India where the cops are riding around caning people, and I was like, man, that's extreme. And then that guy's like, just shoot them. It's like, whoa.
Did I send you that article, Ryan, about India where there's like 1.3 billion, but millions and millions of people live in poverty. They live in shanty towns. They don't even have bathroom, electricity, water. How are they supposed to separate? It's
Calcutta,
crazy.
right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Everywhere.
Well, most people, I mean, so many of those people too. If you watch any like the documentaries about the poor, the slums over there, how are they supposed to social distance when they barely make enough money one day to buy the food for the next day? They don't have the funds or the ability to go and shop for 2 weeks or a month to get enough food to even provide for their family. And so what are they supposed to do?
And it's sort of a different philosophy, a different mentality when your survival rate or your life expectancy is by the week or by the month, right? And so for us, we're thinking 30, 40 years down the way. For me, if I was living week to week or month to month, then I'm not concerned about a virus that I could potentially get, right? I mean, that's not even sort of under my radar.
You're talking about people who battle dysentery on a weekly basis. Are they worried about COVID? Probably not.
Yeah.
Got them out of their misery, really.
Yeah.
Now this positive talk is out of the way.
Yeah.
Why are we all gathering today? We have a special guest, Ryan Sexton. And Ryan, you're with GI and the Brigade program. Can you maybe explain a little bit about what the heck that is for people who are just tuning in?
Sure. So the Brigade, we're well into our third year now. So what the Brigade is it's like a players group for scenario big game, woods ballers, recreational players, to basically feel like they're part of something. They sign up, they get an ID card, they get a cool shirt, a patch, a hat, a lanyard. And then whenever they go to any of the events that we're doing, and it's just grown and grown every year, before this wonderful vacation, we were set to have over 70 different patch events this year. So it's just gotten bigger and bigger. They take their ID card, you show it at the booth at any of these events, you get your free patch. By doing that, you're entered into the big raffle at the end of the year. You get discounts in the booths and stuff. And most of the guys have just really gotten into it for collecting the patches and stuff, which has been pretty cool.
Yeah.
If you're like Gavin, he got horseshoes up your hoo-ha, you'll win one of the raffles too.
That's right, baby.
Yeah.
Still bitter about that.
I think everybody on the panel is a Brigade member. I know that Joe, myself, Matt's nodding. I think we all do. When I do late night sexy talk with Zuby, he always just wears his jersey, his sleeveless jersey.
That extra small, I'm sure, is a little snug, but I mean, it fits that mood, I guess.
It does fit the super late night.
You can tell his mood in that shirt.
Got to read the room somehow.
Hey, there you go.
Lots of our guys on the Task Force Raiders are members as well. They've all jumped on board and they've joined. How many you have members in every country, or how many members do you have?
Not every country. We've gotten quite a few lately in Europe,
Right.
Germany, England, that kind of thing. A lot of the guys over there, I've got a guy over there, John Broer, who's just really awesome. He's with, I believe the team is called the Northmen, and they roll with like an army of 300 or 400 guys to go play like the Euro big game, and they're a huge force. And he's just super cool guy. He's a chef. He cooks for them, and he hits me up all the time. Hey man, is there anything I can do? Is there, what's going on? And all that kind of stuff, which is fantastic. And so we had scheduled, I think, 4 events in Europe for the year. The earliest one, I believe, is the Euro big game, which is supposed to be in May. So I haven't heard one way or another about that one yet.
Yeah. Hey, Ryan, Lee Williams has a good suggestion in the live chat. He says you should do a COVID patch, a Brigade COVID.
Like a survivor's patch.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing I will say about the...
I can see it now. I got COVID, and all I got was his lousy patch.
Yeah. I know that Matt and Josh can attest to this, and unfortunately, I know you can't be at every Brigade event, but one other benefit for joining the Brigade is you get to have Ryan's tacos. Super game. You made some fancy tacos. I don't know if we were just that hungry and that was the closest food within 50 miles or if it was actually that good, but I remember it being quite tasty.
I like to think we know enough about food to say when we had good tacos, we had good tacos.
My question is, Ryan, was that Ryan Sexton's tacos, or was that more of a Sneaky Pete's taco?
Definitely.
The Sneaky Pete thing, that's usually when I do my cooking, that's usually what that is. Friends gave me that nickname a while ago, and I've got a little jersey. It looks like an apron and stuff. Sometimes I wear it. But yeah, it's kind of, sometimes I do it under that banner and stuff. But for brigade events, you know, we do that several times. If it's close enough to where I can bring all the stuff I need to do it, then we do it. We do like KC Crusaders and up at Doodlebugs, Danny Court's game, down at Rich Telford's game in Sacramento, and then of course like Tombstone in Oklahoma, and we've done it in Texas. We do it wherever I can source enough equipment to feed some people.
What do you think about Super
fun.
Game? Their game would have been coming up very soon. I guess that's
been a month in this weekend.
Yeah, I have to be honest with you, I haven't really followed much of that game, and I haven't seen much from Dan. But is that event scheduled to happen, or are they passing on it this year because of the?
Yeah, they bumped it. I believe they bumped it to like the third weekend in June. Yeah, I believe, or the fourth weekend. I'm sorry, I believe it's the. No, that's not right. I think they did July 20. 25th, 26th.
Okay, well that's good. Shelly Crook in the live chat says this format is not bad at all.
Thanks, Shelly. That's pretty fantastic.
Yeah,
it's not so terrible.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is what you get. We can only do so much. We are in quarantine, all of us, and this is it. I'm in the studio rating our alcohol by myself. I get full dibs on everything that's in here. That's the only plus of not having you guys in studio.
I had to go to the liquor store today and buy my own rum. I was like, what is this?
That must have been an adventure.
It was quite the adventure.
Yeah.
We had to order beer. Meg ordered beer from a local craft brewery. She EMT'd them the money. Then we did curbside pickup, and they brought it out to the car because you can't go in. And same with PetSmart. We needed kitty litter, or else I would have had to send a cat packing.
Ryan should know this place, Moose Winooski's, which is part of a bunch of restaurant chains. What they've done is they have all their managers working in the kitchen and some of their key staff, and they're still open. But what happens is you order from them, and you pay over the phone before you place when you place your order. When you get there, you physically call the store, tell them what you're in. They will come out and they will put your bag of food apparently on your hood of your vehicle, and then they will step away, and then at that point you're asked to wait for the server to walk away. Then you can look through your bag to make sure everything is there in case there's anything wrong. Then you drive away. So there's a lot of restaurants like that, and even Swiss Chalet is doing that too. Apparently there's a lot of restaurants that are
I know a lot of restaurants that are doing that, because apparently participating in something like Uber Eats and Lyft and all that is extraordinarily expensive for the restaurant.
Yeah, they are. When you order from Uber Eats or any of these places, the restaurant menu prices are typically the same prices if you go to the store. But on top of that, they have to pay Uber Eats as a restaurant the surcharge. So they're taking a cut every time Uber Eats. Now, I'll be honest, there's restaurants like Subway and Mr. Sub and all these other restaurants that are making a killing because they're getting so many more orders because of it. But again, if you're making a couple of bucks less every order, it's going to hurt at the end of the day a little bit.
But I think right now it's keeping a lot of businesses afloat, right? Even though you're taking a little bit of a loss, there's I guess, less overhead with staff resources going out. But right now, people are dependent on, if you're looking for sort of any form of entertainment, you can't dine out anymore, so it's dining in, and it's Uber Eats or Skip or whatever delivery service that you have, right?
Lee Williams wants to know, after this live show, Joe will be making some oatmeal, so stay tuned for that.
I will be making. Travis Crawford, in his bright lightness, would it kill y'all to have a cool backdrop in your Instead of looking like you're drinking in your mom's basement. Well, you know what, Travis? We all own our own houses, so we don't worry about living with our parents. And if I need to broadcast Behind the Bunker live from wherever I can get light in my house, I sure will. If you don't like it, you don't have to watch.
Yeah, Gavin's in the hallway of his apartment building.
That's how you really feel, Joe.
That's exactly about how I feel.
Yeah, I'm staying 6 feet away from anybody walking and the Uber Eats people, right?
Shake down all the courier drivers. Yeah. Oh, well, this is a hell of a time to be living.
Joe was in a mood.
Yeah. Let's go back to that.
I wasn't really in a mood. Like, we're trying to make the best. Our businesses are shut down. Many people aren't working. Many people, I'm not sure where you are from, but where we are, we're currently not working. Only essential services are working, and they've locked it down one more notch. I read that Target on Monday is going to start limiting the number of people in their store. We've been doing that for 2 weeks. And now all the Home Depots locally in the province and in Canada, I believe, you are not going to be allowed to go into a Home Depot. You will have to order online and have curbside pickup.
Yeah. So I was
that's where we're at.
That's because Home Depot is trying to give away all of their shitty 2x4s that people hand pick. Now when you order 2x4s, they'll give you all the twisted ones.
Not yet. Not that I want to make this about all about COVID-19 and how we're all going stir crazy and crazy in general.
I'm used to this lifestyle.
But I do suspect that at least our government in the province of Ontario is taking a slow easing your way in, just a tip approach to a full lockdown, right? Because if they jumped the gun and did a full lockdown right away, we'd see less than a Canadian attitude with looting and all that wonderful stuff. So as people are learning to adjust their behavior, it'll be a slow transition.
We could have it a lot worse. There's people that I know in Panama right now, and up till a couple days ago, they were able to go out for 2 hours a day, and now they go out every second day. So they're quarantined for a full day and a half, and then they can go out. They've got a 2-hour window, and then they go home. And even at that, they can only they can't go social. They have to go to like grocery stores or whatever that happens to be open. What happened to Josh?
I tried downloading a picture of
he has an escape room background.
Bunker. To do a background, but it just looks like shit.
You look like my first interview with Thomas Taylor.
Yeah, you're not in a subway then.
But I do want to remind everybody that this is not the rehearsal. We are now live, so we're probably stepping up a little bit in terms of the quality of entertainment.
We've got
what are you
Ryan.
saying, Gavin?
We've got Ryan in. So Ryan, what were your plans before we got hijacked this year?
I did 22 events last year myself for Brigade. This year it was getting scaled down a little bit to about 14 or 15. I was also XOing the blue side at Living Legends this year. I was promoting a game in Kansas in April that we just had to move to November. I don't know what's going on right now. I mean, there's still, like, I updated our calendar internally, and there's only about 5 to 7 games that I've even announced being moved. And it's like, I don't know if it's just wishful thinking, but there's a whole lot of games still in April and May that they haven't really rescheduled yet. So I don't know what's going to go on with a lot of these games.
Yeah.
I think April is very ambitious. Late May is probably not too ambitious. I think we're probably realistically looking at a mid-June before things lighten up. I don't have a crystal ball or a crystal gelatin sphere that I can look into. But I think if you look at, I think we look to where China is now, where Singapore is now, and they're sort of starting to venture out, although they still have lots of sanctions in place. But it's been 6 weeks. So if we teleport 6 weeks from 2 weeks ago, we're, sort of late May, beginning of June.
All I know is when we're given the all clear, it's going to be like that scene in The Simpsons where springtime hits, they all dust off the dust out of their eyes. They walk out of the house, stretch their arms, and they're all just run and cheer. What I was talking to my wife the other day about this, and I said, what is the first thing we're going to do? Are we going to go, like, we don't see movies very often, but would we go celebrate with a movie? Would we, but it's the little things. It's like going down to the Cambridge restaurant and having dinner. That would be kind of cool. When was the last time you sat down at a restaurant and got served? When was the last time you went to a mall or any public place, or even talked to your neighbors without having to be across the street? It's going to be such a weird. I wonder how much we're actually going to get back to normal, or if people.
I think it'll be an absolute new normal, and that new normal will not include any member of your family, at least of your household. Everyone's going to go their separate ways and be very happy to connect with other people.
Yeah, I think today's the first day my family was a little stir crazy. I think we've all distanced ourselves enough and had enough of each other up till today. Today was a bit trying, but hopefully, whatever. We've all hunkered down for the long haul too. We all know what's going on. We know that we can't go places, so it is kind of is what it is. But I don't know. And no one in my family, none of my family like to play paintball, so it's not like I can say, hey, let's go to the paintball field and at least we can do some one-on-ones or we can do something. Like, that's not happening because they don't care.
But I think wives will certainly be encouraging their husbands or their partners to leave once the season opens up. No, please, you'll have my blessing. Just get the hell out of here.
Well, think of Matt's lady friend. Get out of my apartment. Go play some paintball.
I'm not in Guelph tonight. I'm at home.
Okay. Stop drinking my beer.
That's fair.
Where did Ryan? How come Ryan moved? What's going on here? You guys are mixing it up.
Gavin had a little shifty shift there.
Is there like a function that will do that?
No, okay. So what it is, I forgot to tell you guys at the beginning of the show, people at home can vote. Right now, Gavin's just dropped down another notch.
It's like a live game of Survivor.
I'm surprised I'm not in the bottom corner where Gavin is, but anyway, that's fine. Whatever it is. But I went out to the field. I went to the outdoor field today, and picked up some garbage for about 45 minutes, smoke bomb canisters and water bottles. But then I went live on Facebook and I popped the smoke and sort of ran around the rebel base with the smoke bomb billowing out. Then I threw it and I ran up with my imaginary army and attacked the base. So I did that live for all our friends that were sitting at home, wishing they could be out. I needed to, we need to go out there periodically, just, really for security, to check to make sure the homeless people haven't moved into anything or tried to rob us blind.
Yeah. Or burn things down.
Hey,
exactly.
Yeah. Have you guys been seeing all of the things on like YouTube? Like, for example, Bare Naked Ladies, they have gotten all their band members together and they've been doing full songs over, I was going to say the Zoom. Who am I? Freaking Bush. But they're doing it all over Zoom, so they're each playing their own parts and recording it together. It's been really cool.
I admittedly haven't seen any of that, but I have seen some of the commentators commentating everyday life.
Yes,
which has been quite good.
Yeah, that I'll give you that. Yeah.
What about all of the night show guys, like the Daily Show? They're doing it from home, and then
Jimmy Fallon, he's doing a great job.
Yeah.
And what about I can't remember his real name, but Jim from The Office? He's doing that Some Good News Show. Have you seen that?
Good for him.
John Krasinski.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
You watched that with the kids, and it was awesome.
If you take COVID-19 crap off the internet and off of TV, there would legitimately be nothing. No one's reporting on anything right now.
Oh,
so at least
they would be reporting on Tiger King. What are you talking about?
Oh, Jesus.
Tiger King season 2. Come on.
Yeah.
Hey, there's a release from the zoo today that says that the people who made it have enough footage they're going to make and release one more episode coming soon.
Really? That's funny.
Well, they have to. Well, the show went up to December 2019 when he was put in prison. So
Matt doesn't want you to give it away.
I haven't seen it yet.
You're not going to honestly watch it, are you, Matt?
Yeah. Catherine's come around on it, and we are going to watch it one of these days.
Matt, you're going to have to watch it twice in a row to catch all the train wreck that happens.
Yeah,
it's right. Ryan put me onto it, and then I posted it, and then the next day after Ryan told me, it was #1 on Netflix in Canada. Ryan was right. It gets weirder and weirder.
Yes, because you posted it to my wall saying, hey, Ryan says, check this out. I'm like, this doesn't appeal to me at all, but what the hell? What else am I doing? And I was hooked. I was completely hooked.
All right. Another
7 hours later, Gavin's going, what the hell just happened?
I watched a movie last night that I thought you guys might like is Spencer something. It's, what's his name?
Thank you for your help.
God damn it! Now I can't think of his name. Anyways, he's one of the Backstreet Boys. Backstreet Boys. He was on Blue.
No, he wasn't a Backstreet.
What was he?
Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg. Okay.
His brother, or Mark.
So Mark Wahlberg, Eliza Schlesinger, and a couple other people. I
watched that. Yeah,
it was a good watch.
A good movie.
It was a good watch. And thank you to Josh and everyone else that was hounding me on Monday. I started Boondock Saints. I'm into it about 10 minutes right now. So I'll get through it.
Joe Perez.
You know, the second one doesn't exist.
I know. I was told not to. Yeah.
It doesn't exist.
I would watch Back to the Future 3 apparently before that.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
I'm upset. Late night after the news has been on, I look for something to watch. And last night I was looking for something. Taken wasn't on. None of the Bournes were on any of the channels. So then I watched some Ozark.
On
Amazon Prime has The Bourne.
Okay.
No, I have
The Bourne.
You know how you can usually sometimes flip to channel 32 or AMC or whatever, and either
you still watch cable? What are you fucking caveman?
I don't have cable.
That's my Planet of the Apes. Yeah. Joe Perez says that I'm in the bathroom. Yes, Joe Perez. But you know what makes it kind of cool is I'm sitting on a stool. This is my Mr. Zog's sex wax stool, and I've had
that's from the old store.
I've had that stool, and I used it at my original desk when I started Flag Raiders in like 1984. And this is where I would answer the phone and go, "Hello, Flag Raiders paintball."
On the toilet?
Flag Raiders adventure game. No, in my mom's basement.
I have my original stool in a Ziploc.
Oh, good one. I got it. That's stool talk. Stool talk with Todd.
I almost got Josh to spit out.
We could get rid of Behind the Bunker, and we could just have stool talk with Todd, and then we could have characters come in called Mr. Poopy and Droopy
it's
Drawers.
kind of a good follow-up for your oatmeal videos, really.
It is. If you think of your oatmeal commentary live with Joe, and then we have stool talk.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, you know what? We have our late show hosts who are doing shows from their home. We're doing shows from our quarantine in our homes. What the hell is entertainment going to be like once people, the floodgates open and we're back to normal? Are people going to gravitate towards the sort of the regular mediums that they had before, or are people grown accustomed to this crap that we put out? I mean, people are starved for entertainment. Joe, you do a quality program in the morning with your oatmeal, but are we?
But really people have to be tired. Like, okay, you guys all watch the Tiger King or Tiger whatever. That's great, but like, aren't you guys tired of sitting in front of the TV now? Like, haven't you gotten through all the good stuff? Like,
no.
I don't know.
But like when I watch, it's late at night after the kids go to bed, so it's my time to unwind and be quiet, and it's a little bit of quiet time. I normally don't get that, so this is a big change.
Yeah.
Like,
you get personal time,
but I was,
strangely enough,
it feels like Christmas Day every day.
In the backyard today, fixing a fence because apparently we're going to be fostering some puppies or something in the near future. So that our next door neighbor has a couple large German Shepherds, and there's some holes underneath the fence where they stick their head underneath and try to get us. So I put some fence boards up, and I was out in the backyard with my drill, and you know what? I was walking slowly. It was like I was being paid hourly because I was walking slowly. I did a board, then I walked back to the deck, and I walked to the fence, and I walked back. I did it. The whole process took me about an hour. I felt like I was in Australia. I was moving so slowly. Great day, mate. Or I'm a union guy. But like I didn't have anywhere to be. I'd done all the chores that were set out for me. And I had to fix the fence. So that's what I did. And I think people going to be more laid back once this passes. But it's gonna change. Think about it. This is going to change the way everything is done. Everybody's working from home. Are all these office buildings going to be redundant? Are you going to be need large national headquarters to run your business, people can work from home.
So that is a great point, Joseph. When people said they couldn't work from home or now forced to, and suddenly magically they're able to, right? There's the infrastructure in place. So all these massive office buildings that you're talking about are going to lay vacant, right? So rents are going to go down significantly because there's going to be such empty space because people have learned that we can now work differently. So we can work differently, we can interact differently.
And shop differently.
Yes, the whole world has changed. So it's a new culture that will be evolving once we get out of this crap.
Are we going to need malls?
Yeah.
I think you're going to find that the number of people who work at home after this is going to go pretty much back to the way it was before.
Yeah. People like to have control of their employees for sure. I wonder if Walmart will downsize and have more of a pickup, like not necessarily Walmart. I'm not picking on them, but everybody have more sort of an online presence or a pickup sort of thing where you can pre-call your order in and
like Tinder.
Yeah.
I guess.
I'm just kidding. I just threw that in there.
So I don't know.
You're going down a different avenue when you get into calling up dates. I think
that's true.
There might be a law about that.
But think of all the people that Gavin, I guess, and Matt. Well, Gavin rather Matt, not anymore. But single guys. How do you meet people right now? Like if you're single, you're destined to be single for a while.
It ain't happening. It ain't happening at all.
You can't go to the guy.
You can't do what?
No, and you can't get a tan or get your laundry done either.
Yeah. Nothing's happening. That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah. So I mean, think of all the single folks out there. It's going to be a bonanza.
Well, I heard someone, Todd, you've spoken to this before, but I've heard someone equate to people going out grocery shopping now is the place to meet people. Everyone's dressed up when they go out.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like
outing.
You can really get to see how someone looks with a face mask on too. It's pretty nice to see if if they meet that threshold of
they're compatible.
Yeah.
They're compatible. Yeah.
Well, there's
Ryan,
Middle Eastern
people are out wearing face masks around here. It looks like we're in downtown Hong Kong.
Yeah, it's finally starting to catch on here about the masks.
Yeah. Or the Middle East. Yeah.
Yeah, people are wearing face masks.
Good for you, Todd.
Come on, Todd.
Well, I thought that's where Joe was going with it. I was leaving it. I was leaving it.
It's your show, man. If you want to offend people, you can.
No, I'm just equating it to what it is. Oh, boy. But people are talking about people having kids during this corona outbreak. What happens when it's 9 months after the coronavirus is done and the outbreak is over? That little period there where singles are mingling, there's going to be another set of children born 9 months later.
That's true, too.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Good for you guys.
Can your boys swim?
Can you wait 9 months, Gavin?
It's about what it's going to take.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just had my brother-in-law just had a baby this last week, and it was a little hard for the grandmas. They weren't allowed.
Yeah.
It was literally just my brother-in-law and his partner, and that's it. Nobody else allowed at the hospital.
Yeah.
Well, now, Ryan, here, if someone's going in for a baby, the husband goes in with her but stops outside, and she goes in by herself, and people are properly having funerals. There's no funerals happening because people can't be around. People can't gather. It's a whole new. If you're watching what's happening in Italy and Spain, which is quite severe, but we're not terribly far from it. We won't call it a police state. We're going to call it a safe state.
Yeah. But now is the time to die if you don't want people at your funeral. This is it's a good
God.
My
dad tie the noose now.
None of you moochers coming for free sandwich squares.
Well, that's just how expensive a funeral is.
I do miss the funeral sandwiches, though.
Triangle sandwiches.
Oh, yeah.
Ryan, in Oregon, when people die and they have funeral sandwiches, are they cut into triangles or they do rectangles?
I've been trying to replicate a proper egg salad sandwich. For the last 4 days, I've been having boiled eggs and making it into an egg salad sandwich, and I can't. Well, I'm trying to eat the groceries we have.
Sounds like an episode of the 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Hey, guys, Guys, this is a paintball show. We've just spent the last hour talking about everything but.
Okay, if I die and I have a funeral, Gavin only gets crust from sandwiches.
All right, Aaron
And
Dill
I'm
in the
okay
live
with-
chat agrees. He says now is a good time to fake your death.
That's true.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like Carol
Here's a
Baskin.
new name. Here's a new name in the chat form. First, we have Marcel Perry. Good. Hello, Marcel, and Rolly Sime Swango Jr. is in the chat form.
Yeah, and then he just left.
That's not me, Raleigh, my buddy.
Welcome to Behind the Bunker, Rolly. This is not a normal show. We are really stretching to talk a lot about paintball. There's not a lot of paintball to talk about. Once I finish talking, we are going to get to talk to Ryan Sexton about the new Tippmann Stormer and where he thinks that's going to go. And I personally think from Flag Raiders, there he is right there, a ninja.
That's not me, Raleigh, right there.
Not me, Rolly. Awesome. Fantastic. Now we're on to paintball. So anyway, the Tippmann Stormer is a perfect void, fill the gap space between maybe the Cronus, if you will, and the TMC. It'll fill that void. And within the Stormer family, there's three different distinct Stormers: the Stormer Basic, the Stormer Tactical, and the Stormer Elite. Ryan's going to talk to us about that, what he thinks.
We had a huge success with the TMC. I was really, really amazed at how many TMCs we sold in the first year that it was out. And I mean, looking at the landscape before like the MG100 came out, really like it was the TMC and kind of a smattering of other stuff. And honestly, like the Tippmann brand does real well with lower end reliable equipment. So instead of going for the next step up, some people are saying, like a MagFed Phenom engine kind of thing. We sell a huge chunk of our market is guns that are under $300. So coming out with another marker or three options for essentially the same engine gave us a really good bang for the dollar, as well as three different price points in that lower end market.
Now, there has to be discussions. Is there discussions, and you might not be at liberty to discuss it with us and everybody on Behind the Bunker? Is there talk of making something that is First Strike compatible for your Tippmann users? I know GI is a big proponent of round and spherical paintballs versus shaped projectiles. I get that, but is there talk of making something that is compatible?
Somebody requested both an updated Tip-X that has First Strike capabilities out of the box, as well as a TMC that was First Strike capable out of the box. I haven't heard anything back on that, but I keep asking. For it.
Because I know there's lots of fields that,
there's a lot of people in the paintball world that are asking for it too, right? And we understand the dynamics behind it, but, that's the first thing everybody asks nowadays is, does it fire First Strikes?
So like you would get the Tippmann buyer who wants to be able periodically to shoot a First Strike round at certain events, not an everyday play, because it's not an everyday play kind of thing. But I guess in a big game, it would be an option if someone wanted to shoot a First Strike round for a sniper mission or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea. I'm not a huge fan of it myself, just because I don't really play MagFed all that often. But there's enough people out there that would really like it. I mean, it's my job to kind of keep track of, that type of thing, the scenario in MagFed market. Where is it going? What's it, and try to inform our uppers of, hey, like there's a demand here or there's a gap in the market. We could fill it with this. And so I make my recommendations, and it's definitely up to the higher ups if it goes anywhere.
No, that's fine. And I know people have done millwork on breaches and so on and so forth on TMCs to make them capable of firing a first strike round or something similar. out of them. So that would be, I guess it's possible. I'm not sure what kind of retooling is involved, and obviously you'd have to make a different magazine for it. But
Right.
I don't know if it's something to look at. Maybe you can even make that particular magazine a different color. That way, when a guy with a TMC is shooting for strike rounds.
Yeah, I mean, it's gives us more options without having to completely R&D an entire new product. That's the way I look at it, and I know that's the way that the powers that be look at things. Like, we're not having to completely design a new product from the ground up, but the question always comes back to how many are we going to sell? And it's that's
so Ryan, you're not a MagFed guy per se, but you've been floating around to a number of events. We've certainly seen an explosion of MagFed popularity with the platform of the TMC. It made it a great price point and accessible for people who were hesitant about getting into it. Would you say now, I mean, it's hard to say with everything with the world sort of slowing down, has MagFed peaked, or do you think there's still room for increased growth?
I don't think MagFed's peaked. I think its growth rate's probably going to slow a little bit. And it's really going to depend on, if you look at the bigger picture with what everybody's dealing with right now, I don't like talking about negative stuff, but how many fields aren't going to come out of this? How are those fields, the fields that do, or players that sold off everything they owned, to try to put food on the table, are they not coming back to paintball?
Right.
Are fields going to have to charge more because there's less players? And then, is that that might push more people into MagFed. So I don't think it's peaked. I think there will be, it seemed to have lasted longer than the little blips that Pump used to do.
Right.
Like Pump would get popular for, like a year or year and a half, and you'd see a lot more, Pump only bigger things, and then it would kind of disappear. Like, we brought back the SL68 2, and then we brought back the Tracer for a little while, and then those just went away, because it was just a little blip. But the MagFed seems to be sticking around.
Yeah,
I think it's going to continue to stay around. I think it really it fulfills that void or that gap where people, the fantasy element in your play enters in, and a little bit of cosplay, and you can dress up and you can play, and it doesn't cost as much, and you're shooting, and from a field operator point of view, people aren't getting overshot.
Yeah.
Your turnaround and your play is much slower because people are talking. However, the reloader has dramatically sped that up, and we were on target to be selling tons of reloaders so guys could load their mags and get out quicker. But then this situation sort of stopped everything dead in its track. Now, does GI have any plans for any sort of grassroots plans to get more players? Then you hear lots of guys on forums and talking about how GI really promotes speedball. I think, is there any plans just to get people through the gates at a park, and then people can decide what they want to do after they play? If they want to just be that once or twice a year player that just rents their equipment, or if they want to get into speedball, or if they want to turn right and get into recreational play, which offers hopper fed, mag fed, pump, pistol, whatever. Is there discussions with what GI can do looking forward beyond this to get more player numbers, some grassroots advertising?
I mean, the Try Paintball program, they're still evolving and tweaking on the website, and the dollars they're putting into promoting that into non-traditional avenues of marketing and paid posts and different things like that. Obviously, with what's going on now, that's been scaled way back, but the amount of money that they're putting into that is directly aimed at getting people that might not even have ever heard of paintball to land on the page, look at it, find a field near them. It really talks a lot about the low impact stuff, which is great for first timers. So that's one of them. There's also, I mean, Joe, you and I have talked about, especially like after Extravaganza, and I've gotten in discussions with other field owners online. There is also kind of a feeling from some people that we have the magic bullet, of solving the whole get more people into paintball thing. And we put a good chunk of our profits into marketing. I would promise you it's significantly more than most other manufacturers combined. So us trying to market to, we do a lot with the tournament side. That's because, if we're going to talk business, the margin on those products generates enough profit to put back into the R&D on the tournament products and push that market. The profit from, selling a Cronus, even though we're selling, way more of those, it's still, you know what I mean? Like
absolutely. Yeah. My margins on a Cronus are far less than on an Axe.
Yeah. I mean, it's absolutely proportionate, and it takes
about the same effort to sell a Cronus as it does an Axe as well.
Right. I mean, we're doing a bunch. We're always open for more ideas. We do talk about things. We've been trying different things with our social media for our brand pages, especially on Facebook and Instagram.
And I've noticed a lot more, even GIs, their marketing and social media posts have really, there is still strong speedball presence, if you will, but there's also the acknowledgement of the other, as Todd calls them, genres of the sport. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
it's tough, right? I mean, I wish there was a magic bullet. I wish, we could just pull the trigger on a Facebook boosted marketing campaign and it would result with 10 new players at everybody's field. It just,
I think as a field owner, part of us wishes that GI, Planet Eclipse, and everybody else can do some sort of great marketing for us. The problem is you can't. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many of us. We have our own little niches. We're in our own little market segments. No matter what you spend, I mean, you can throw money against the wall and a little bit will stick here and there for people. But really, at the end of the time, at the end of the day, you're really just branding paintball. I think it's kind of up to the individual field owners. And I know at Extravaganza, that some of the companies like GI have offered field owners opportunities to take advantage to help market them. And if it involves, them helping us design flyers or helping print flyers, like that was brought up at Extravaganza. It's like, what can we do to help you guys? Because you can't just sit back and wait for us to advertise for you, because we can't. And I get that. And I think a lot of the small, paintball companies are expecting the big guys to do all their marketing for them, and that's not how it's going to happen. It's not how it's going to work.
I mean, we're firing a shotgun, and you guys are firing a laser beam.
That's right.
You have your demographics, you have your followers, you have your email list. That doesn't mean that we can't help. And like you said, like every field owner and store owner is able to use our art department.
Yeah.
Logos, flyers, sales flyers.
Have you seen any of the flyers that Ryan Sexton's designed? It's like,
what he can do with a crayon, no one else can.
It's like a Monet. Do you know what I mean? But you were talking about, so you were also talking about how some of the fields may not survive this, and some of the local fields. So I want to talk about how we can help them. But for every local field that may not make it, you have to think about it. It's not just fields, but restaurants, movie theaters, all of these small businesses in your area. They're all going to be doomed from this, depending on how long it's going to be. So you may lose your paintball field, but you may also lose your movie theater, and you may also lose your favorite restaurant. I know one of my favorite restaurants, they just posted up today that they're not renewing their lease, and we're not going to see them again. That's Little Louie's, if anybody that's watching locally.
Well, their lease expired at the end of April, but what would possess them to extend their lease, not knowing what this is going to look like? We have no idea when this is going to end or how long it's going to end.
I think what you were getting at, Todd, is at this particular time, you really have to start investing in supporting local, because for field owners, if that's your base, who's coming out, you have to make sure people are employed.
Yeah.
Right. So if you are still buying online and from big box stores and not supporting the mom and pop shops, then You are certainly going to limit your customer base because there's not going to be anybody who can afford to play.
Yeah.
And so there's like one thing that like I did yesterday in the afternoon. I have a local little Texas barbecue joint that I love. I built their website for them. I just help them out, just not for pay, just to try to help we have a really, really small town. So GI's done in the past, like the Feature Friday videos where, they take a drone and they do a cool little video of a field and stuff like that. And so I just called him. I was like, hey man, I'm going to come down. I'm going to just film some footage, and then I'm going to edit it into a little, hey, we're still open, or hey, here's how you can pull up to the window. You can call ahead, do your ordering, like that kind of a thing. Yeah. And he was like, he's over the moon. Like I'm doing it for him at no charge whatsoever. And it's, he's so busy just trying to keep his doors open. He doesn't have time to think about the marketing part of it. And I was like, you know what, this will probably take me an hour of filming stuff. And I kept my social distance. I didn't even go up and say hi. I parked in the parking lot next door and flew the drone over and stuff. And then, I'll edit it up and I'll post it, and maybe he gets a few more customers. But
and not to mention the free barbecue too. But I mean, there's a couple local restaurants too that my wife and I were talking about the other day. It's like, we should really try to support them. And it's like, well, that's awesome, but I don't have I don't have support money right now to throw around either.
Yeah, I don't have
because we're closed. So I mean, it's easy to say that, but I mean, I'm making egg salad sandwiches for lunch just because we don't know how long we're going to be in this for.
You have egg money?
I got egg money and mayo.
We introduced our son to tuna melts. We had some breads, and tuna melts are now my favorite next to a cheese quesadilla. And it's like
that's one of my little person's favorite meals. So and it's economical.
Well, that's just the other thing you can do is take all your bagels and your bread when you get them the next day, throw them in the freezer, because you can always have bagels in a toaster and bread out of the toaster, and no one knows any different, and it'll last you for as long as you want.
We have bagels in our bug out freezer.
Wow, it's just like we're living through the Depression, isn't it?
Except we're still smiling. Yeah, we're still smiling. We're still happy. Yeah. It's great, and it's going to be important for.
We keep stocking up on groceries, right, to make sure we have enough. Every 2 or 3 days, there's like this mass panic. It's like we don't have any fresh meat or fresh vegetables. It's like, okay, let's make a list. Let's make a plan. We'll go get it. We'll come back. We'll have a shower. We'll sanitize. Whatever, right? But the thing is, like, at any point in time, the government could say, okay, we're on a shutdown. And then you're stuck with what's in your freezer. So we're not trying to hoard anything, but we're also trying to have enough stuff that if the government also says stop, we can legitimately stop going to anywhere, and we're good for a week. But
they showed a graph. I don't know if you saw the both the Prime Minister and the Premier of the province have been doing press conferences every day to keep us in the loop, and the province showed a graph, and one graph was if we don't do anything, the death rate will be this high, like 15,000 people in the province. Where we're tracking now, it's 3,000. But if we absolutely locked everything down for 2 weeks and nobody went anywhere and everything was closed, it would be over here, like 200 people would die.
But aren't they 3,000 no-goodnics?
The government, these are uncharted times for people, and it's completely undefined territory. But imagine if they locked everything down across the country, the death rate would be, there would be mayhem and people would be pissed off and stuff like that. But the death rate, and we would probably be able to get a handle on this a lot quicker. They have to look at the whole economics. There's so much to look at, but let's go back to paintball.
Yeah. So, and Joe, on final thought on that, everybody has to be on the same page. Everybody has to subscribe and drink the Kool-Aid, and let's all do our part. I know this is not a world war where we're off of our couches and we're going to foreign lands, but this is absolutely a war with respect to, we have to get this under control. We have to get our economy back. We have to get people healthy. So if it means, you're being minorly inconvenienced and potentially losing your job, which sucks, I get that, and income, for a couple of weeks, things will turn around and we'll get back sooner. If you just comply. And I'm not beating the drum in terms of like taking away your rights, but I'm just saying, we're all in this together. It's a minor inconvenience, so we can get back to normal again. So just stay home. Stay home.
Couple comments in the live chat. Marcel Perry and Trey Garrison also say PB&J is always a good thing as well. Lisa Weber says it's also stressful going to the store that I only go once a week at the most. I think if we're going to the grocery store, I think we should also be supporting paintball and having our paintball goggles on just to be safe here. And George Hay says, I'm working 60 plus hours a week, and it's amazing how many families still shop together in stores instead of just one person going in.
Well, a lot of the local stores here are mandating one person per family. That's it.
But having said that, that's ideal, but sometimes that's not realistic. So instead of we're putting our judgment pants on, sometimes single parents, they don't have the ability to hire a babysitter.
My
judgment pants are up as high as I can go.
So again, you got to suspend judgment and just remember, people are doing the best they can with what they have, right? And so all this together.
With most games switching to the second half of the year.
Thank you, sir.
That's great.
I mean, there's a bunch of games shifting into the second half of the year. So July and later is probably more likely than not. What games are you guys looking forward to going to?
By the way, wonderful segue, Ryan. Yes.
Yeah. In all honesty, there's not one game that I'm looking forward to going to. As a paintball field owner, I'm looking forward to just being open and running them. And I'm not trying to sound like a tool right now, but I want my birthday parties back. I want my regulars back. I want those people that want to play paintball back at the field before I concentrate on leaving. I'm not leaving the field unless there's a good darn reason to go.
Well, but there's nothing wrong with wanting your livelihood back, man.
Well, that's just it.
Our paint fest, like the outdoor would have been open. Our sort of our kickoffs, our Daytona 500 is always Red Dawn. That's the first Sunday in March, which we successfully had that, and it was a great day. And then we sort of trinkle through March because the weather's so inconsistent. Then April, we always do paint fest the last Sunday in April. So really, realistically, our first opening weekend will likely, whenever we get the green light, when everybody says it's safe to do so, that will likely be our paint fest. So we'll do our free entry, free rental. That will be our opening weekend. Will be paint fest. We'll likely try, if we can do something in July, we'll do a sort of a limited number of summer big game just to get people out. And then we'll do our sort of battle royale 2-day event like we did the last couple of years. We'll do that in September the 19th and 20th. That's our plan. And if we're still sort of in this situation by September 19th or 20th, then we'll likely be looking for jobs in other fields.
Yeah. Hey,
and for me, similar to what Todd was saying, I'm most excited about just regular Saturday and Sunday recreational play. What big games are great, and that's something to look forward to. But I think we've been cooped up for so long that I'm just looking to play as much as humanly possible.
Poor little Johnny, when he first comes to the field, when he's allowed again, he's going to be just everything okay? You having fun?
If he's playing against me and he has a hopper, I'm kicking it twice.
Nice. Hey, Dewan Mitchell in the live chat says, "What up, guys?" Roger Weber says, "Freaking Tombstone he's missing." Trey Garrison says the All-American Heroes at Avid Extreme Sports on June 5th and 7th. That's the one he's looking forward to. Lisa Weber says Super Game Indiana at Sherwood Forest. That is a good one. Josh Subizaburkis says Seb. Seb's watching right now.
Is Seb watching?
He is. Splatter Park Big Game says Marcel Perry. Monster Game at Hell Survivor says Jimmy Churchill. I Demand Tacos at Tombstone says Trey Garrison. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, it's still nice to see that a lot of you guys have hopes and dreams that a lot of these big games are still going to happen. Big.
But remember, guys, as much as dreaming, get out and support your local field. Now, when this ends, we're going to probably need to call upon not only the paintball community as we know it, but we're going to have to call upon the paintball community and beyond. We're going to have to call on our neighbors and our in-laws and our friends that normally don't promote our events and our business to share this, to reach a completely new market. If I know that if I make a post, my friends Todd, Matt, Gavin, Ryan, Zuby will all see my posts, and a few more of my paintball friends. But I know that if my next door neighbor makes a paintball post, and I'm going to ask them to make some posts for me when we have our events, that their friends will see it that aren't my friends. So I think we're going to have to really think outside the proverbial marketing box to get this out here. The days of advertising the yellow pages are gone. We do, really rely on social media. We can't even look at mainstream television because people are watching. Zuby called me a dinosaur, or a Neanderthal, or whatever, because I have cable TV still. Whatever, a cave dweller, a spelunker, if you will, called me that. So we really have to look at how we can get the good word of paintball out to a different group of people. So we're going to have to pool our collective resources, and we're going to have to say, hey, get your husband, your wife, your partner, your girlfriend, whatever, to share this so everybody can see it.
And it won't be a hard sell to sell paintball when all this is over. People are going to be happy to get the hell out of their houses.
People are not going to be wanting to go on airplanes. People are not going to be wanting to go on cruises. People are going to be wanting to do something close, local, and fun.
And I'm as guilty as probably all of us about bringing a new player when I play local. Like that was a big thing. People talked a lot about that, I don't know, last year or 2 years ago, but I'm as guilty as, like I bring my 11-year-old, but that doesn't really count, But I mean, that's one huge thing that we could probably all do that would really help our local fields and stores.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Does everyone bring a new person out, or bring someone, not necessarily new, someone that hasn't played paintball for 5 years? In 2021, paintball, adventure games, war games, the survival game, Splatball is going to be entering its 40th anniversary. So not this year, but in 2021. So paintball will be 40 years old. The first survival game was played in June in New Hampshire. So, that's a great opportunity to get new people out. And, low impact is really the new paintball. It's not just for 10 little Johnny's birthday party. It works for corporate group. It works for mixed couples. When you pool people in the stage area, why don't more of your friends come out? They're afraid of getting hit. Get them to play low impact.
Okay, so to link both Ryan and Joe, we all still play, right? We all started playing with people who may not play anymore, right? So whether that you had families, whether you had life circumstances. So do you remember that buddy that you started playing with or you played with a lot that maybe he's not in the sport anymore? Pull him or her back into the sport when things open up. So you can bring a new player in, or as Joe said, one of those old-timey players who are on the bicycles, right? Clink, clink.
With a large, big front tire.
Yeah, so and reignite the passion again for those who have been away from the sport for a while, and then ignite the passion for those who have never played.
That's a great hashtag, ignite the passion.
Yeah, you could use that with any number of different things.
That's right.
And in 40 weeks, we'll all find out.
Yeah, I think that's Victoria's Secret's promo code, Ignite the Passion.
Ignite the passion, that's right.
Yeah. Why are people asking if Ryan should be wearing a onesie?
Who's asking that?
It's Saturdays. Rompers are for Fridays, guys. Rompers are for Fridays.
There's a great romper company. My wife and my sister, which is Todd's wife, wear these rompers.
Sorry, did you just say there's a great romper company?
I did. I just said that.
Revive that.
I'm not the only one.
If you go on, it's a company called Smash and Test. They're out of Vancouver. Smash and Test. They make fantastic rompers.
Do they make them for men, Joe?
No.
I don't know if they make them for men, but they make them for women. So, but I guess in this world, Ryan, you could wear either a man's or a woman's romper, and no one would think different. Maybe in Oregon they would, but here they wouldn't.
Rompers
care.
are only made for women, anyways. Guys don't like women in rompers. I'm sorry.
But Ryan, you got a discount romper. It wasn't even big bucks rompers, was it?
Oh Lord, the ones we wore in Hawaii were like $15 out of China, and some of them were a little snug on our bigger teammates. But my brother just sent me one. I made a little video wearing it on our the Avid guys and I. We do this Backdoor Snipers page, and I did like a little working from home video. And my step number one from working from home is if you're new to it. If the other people in the house think you're naked, they probably aren't going to come and interrupt you as often. And my brother had sent me a romper that looks like a really naked, hairy Zuby. So I started with the camera
a romper.
really slow, and then I zoomed back, and I had this hairy ass, naked man romper on, and I was like, I never would have bought that for myself. I won't wear that one in public, but
That's awesome.
Nice. Well, it's 10 after 9 local time here. We should probably wrap it up. Matt's giving the symbol here.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, I should have told you this earlier in the program, but we have a special guest on Monday night. Not necessarily as special as Ryan, but he's pretty special. So you guys are going to want to tune in on Monday night and see who that is or whom that is. That'll be live Monday night. And then tomorrow night on Sunday night, we're going to do another New to You episode. And then we'll see how that goes. I think we're going to continue on for a while anyways. And every night at 8 o'clock, we're going to give you guys a new to You Rewind episode. Thank you to Ryan for being in the program today. Was this the highlight of your day?
Absolutely. I was working a little side job before jumping on this, so it was nice to be talking fun paintball stuff with people. So
yeah. We really didn't get a chance to talk to paintball, but in all honesty, there ain't nothing going on with paintball right now. I mean, we're trying, but things are being canceled and people are being optimistic. But there's only so much you can do right now.
I mean, just interacting as a community is great.
Yep. Yep.
Love it.
Yeah, and it's nice, we don't get an opportunity to interact with Ryan Sexton very often, and since we're all sort of, here and ready to go, this was a good time to bring Ryan in and sort of sit him down and have a one-on-one.
Bing.
Yeah. All right, well, we should probably let you go, Ryan. Thank you for being on the program. When we have a real studio program again, we'll have you back on the show when there's more to talk about paintball, and maybe we can get you promoting some of the events that you're helping with the brigade. And if I was a member of the paintball community and I want to do something new in paintball and get signed up for the brigade program, what do I need to do?
All you got to do is hit up brigadeprogram.com and you sign up right there on the website, and you fill out some information. I make your ID card, send it to you. I ship you the hat and the shirt. And the warehouse that has that stuff is still operating, so it will get right out to you. And then after you've gone to a couple games, guys, for all you guys that are brigade members, this is a fantastic time to jump back on the website and look at all the different achievement patches that we have, because I guarantee you there's a lot of you guys out there that have unlocked achievement patches that all you have to do is jump back on the website and request them.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that.
There you go. So
yeah, very good. Well, getting through an entire program with Gavin Sharma should offer me an achievement patch, but thank you, Gavin, for being on the show.
It's either a patch or some sort of penicillin. I don't know what it is, but it was wonderful to be here, folks, and I appreciate everybody in the comment section. It was going too fast for me to keep up, so I will I'll try to chime in a little bit later. But I certainly appreciate your support, supporting Behind the Bunker, supporting the Brigade program, and paintball. So make sure you hit like and share on the way out. We sincerely appreciate you joining us for a quarantine show, because it's because of you guys that we get to do this stuff.
Yeah. Thank you, Josh, for being in the show.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you to Ryan, of course, and, for doing the whole brigade thing. It's actually quite fun, and we enjoy it every single time we can interact, and we all enjoy being part of it. And thank you to everyone who, took the time to sign in tonight, and hopefully we'll see all you cat and kittens on Monday night.
Yeah. And Matt the Crip for being in front of the camera tonight.
Yeah, I miss clicking. I can't wait to click buttons when I get back.
Makes the time go faster.
Thank you, Stinky P, for showing up and enlightening us. And thanks for everyone watching
and feeding us at Extravagant or at Super Game.
That was good.
Yeah, and Joe Kimson, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thanks very much for everyone for tuning in. We'll see you guys Monday night. Although we didn't talk a lot about paintball, I think the topics that we covered were pretty good quality paintball talk, and everything looks promising, lots of new products coming, and the big thing is to get paintball back in front of not only the current audience but a potential audience. Until then, guys, pew pew.
And thanks to Marcel Perry. He says Gavin carried the show as usual. Lisa Weaver said fun show tonight, good night from Team Tags. And Billy says, at least we can come here and get our paintball fix. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you on Monday night.
See you guys. Thank you.